Hey YouTube, coming at you with the Fossil Cup team from G Stellion, and they say, "Hi Dan, I really like this team. If you can check it, it's 2, 3, and 4, 1. I got around 150 ELO with it, and I keep it and keep up with those videos. P.S. The screen recording is stupid, and I had to pause between games, so 5 games in one. That's fine. I edited it. Okay, I like this team. Right off the bat, I looked at it. I'm just like, yes, this has everything that I would like in a team. You have 2 answers to Poliwrath in the back with Lanturn and Jellicent. You're double weak to Grass in the back, and you have a Steel on the front to deal with that. And Sandslash can do pretty well against like Lanturn and Jellicent that hunt Poliwrath, hit super effective with the claws on Jellicent, and then the drill run for the Lanturn. So I like it. I like the idea of it. Let's see it in action. Ferrothorn, perfect. This is where we want to see it. So they are not getting out, which is great. They eventually get out and make a nice catch on a Mantine. At least you do neutral. I would probably farm a bunch and then get into Lanturn. Fantastic. Very good. Very good. So you catch a Water Pulse. It is now just Spark range. You don't need to throw anything. You just commit to the farm down. Take whatever moves. The Ferrothorn is going to come back in, which is fine. You just chip it as much as you can with, so you're trying to let the switch clock go down. I don't think there's a point there because your backline is Jellicent, so it's not like you're gonna get the Jellicent on the Ferrothorn anyways. I know you're worried that if this takes you out, you have to then burn the switch clock for the Sandslash because there's a switch clock timer difference there, so I get it from that perspective. I feel like by the time they take you out, and if you wait 10 seconds here, it's going to be out anyways, right? You waited 0 seconds and it was already out, so I get the idea of it. I guess it's good principles to do in general, but I don't think it's necessary. And this is straight up domination, this matchup, and they're not even leaving. They could get to a Thunder, so I would probably commit the shield. Yeah, and if they're not getting out right away and they're staying in to get a Thunder, I think it's worth shielding, and it's a Jellicent in the back. So I'm throwing the drill run here. I guess that was just a Surf. Surf will hurt. And you commit the shield, knowing that you can get to a Shadow Claw drill run combo anyways. How much is that going to do is the question. Trying to catch a Surf? Yeah, I was about to say. When your opponent makes it very obvious that they're just throwing right on, it makes it easier to catch. Now, who's going to win CMP here? Or you're just trying to get the Surf off, so it's just claw down range anyways. That makes sense too. Because they're going to have to throw Shadow Ball to take you out, but then they are just claw range, and then you'll have an easy time with the Ferrothorn. So throwing a move just in case Ferrothorn can get to a move, just take that out and then claw down the rest here. Okay, Poliwrath, there's a bad matchup. Where is your safe swap? Jellicent. That makes sense. I feel like with Jellicent, you're at least hitting like neutral if a Ferrothorn comes in, as opposed to Lanturn where you're just like drawing dead there. So I think Jellicent is the smarter safe swap. Get hit with the Lanturn, which is okay, right? It happens. They smartly farm all the way up till you get to the move, but you are going to shield and try to probably bait your way back here. Yeah. They're likely to like match the shield because they really want to keep switch. So it's a kind of easier bait there. I think you just get outpaced anyways. Now, the question is, if they go, yeah, so you're just going to take this in the one shield. That's fine. They're out of energy now, going back-to-back Thunderbolts. The thing is they can still probably get to a move if you're going to try to commit to the farm down. Bank a move, come and take a Thunderbolt, and then give up switch here into now a bad matchup. And now you got the, I don't like this. I don't think there's a point to this. Because then you just guaranteed that their Poliwrath is on your Sandslash no matter what in the ending. And yeah, this is, I mean, you got a bad matchup both cases, but yeah, this game's over. There's not much you can do, but I don't know if I like that. Okay, Escav. This is the correct answer, resisting the counters. Shadow Ball, if it doesn't take out, it puts it within like 1 or 2 hexes. So I think just going straight Shadow Ball is probably the way, because if they don't shield here, you have to throw another Surf. So I don't like going here. And then you get the shield so you can easily match back and then just take it with surfs at this point. Okay, fine. So going hex surf here. Not enough to take out. You can just hex down though. They're going to come back in with the Mantine. You got a Shadow Ball. I mean, I don't need to tell you, you need to come. Interesting. I like the idea. Okay, this is why I actually like this a lot. This is why I like this a lot. They don't have much energy right now. And with the Wing Attack Air Lace, at best they can just get to Water Pulse. So they are likely to switch into whatever their back Pokemon is. They don't know you have a Lanturn yet, which is going to beat it. The only way this blows up in your face here is if they stay in, get a Water Pulse off to chip you, and then just like kind of go down, and then they have their Quagsire on your Lanturn. Now I think the risk reward is probably worth it to not let them just farm with Mantine and then come in Sandslash, and then they get out into, so you have no energy on Sandslash, and then they go into Quagsire, and then it's like a combo of like, I mean, you'll probably just stand anyways and beat it, but giving them all that energy is probably not worth it. So I kind of like the aggressive swap, even though there is the potential for it to like kind of blow up in your face. Get off a second Ice Punch, and that's all you need, because either this chips and puts it low enough, or you're going to grab a shield. That's fine. You let this go. You come Jellicent, you force their energy, and then, okay, or you just shield. What do I know? There's no point, because you're going to lose here anyways. This is what you're supposed to do. You let that go. Take a look at your surroundings, right? Let's just stop it right here. You landed a move. They have a Mantine, which Lanturn's going to absolutely destroy. You still have a Jellicent, which is going to force them to at least throw a Mud Bomb on the Jellicent, which you could potentially get to a Surf quick, or just force their energy and get like a couple hexes off. So basically, you let this go down, you come in Jellicent, you force their energy there, or take it low enough, and then you could just spark down the rest. There's no real point of shielding this, especially with them so close to a second move, when Jellicent can just easily handle this. So you get a couple claws off, but like they get to another move and take you out. And now you're still just going to do the Jellicent. You're still going to win, because Lantern's just an absolute wall to Mantine. But it just seems unnecessary. So you have the Shadow Ball. You're going to throw it here. Okay, they take you out, and you just spark down. That's fine. And they should top left. Pelipper, decently, this is not as amazing as you would expect it to be, just because the Pelipper is going to get to 2 Weather Balls before you get to 2 Ice Punches, and it'll basically do 50%. So if they can live this, they can take this in the zeros, and they will easily live it. And then they get into Lucario, which, like, I mean, if you got a double fighter team, you do need to try and draw out in the back here. That's definitely a Thunder Punch, but it'll probably only do like 40%. You could shield it. Yeah, that's fine. Just going with the Surf, a bit off on the fast move timing. I think the game kind of messed you up there. That's fine. 1 in Surf here is the way to go. You'll live a Thunder Punch too, so you don't even really need to worry about shielding one. Holy, Lucario is glassy. Unless they're running Shadow Ball with Thunder Punch Shadow Ball. This little Shadow Ball will hurt you. And it is a Shadow Ball, and it one-shots you. Come in and Spark. I mean, Pelipper is not going to come in here. So they have to come Escav, even though they want to try and align in the back here, but they're not going to. Get the Surf off, and figuring that now you just give them 2 more counters to get to another draw run here. Yeah, I think there's potentially 2 things here. How much health is left here? Let me, before you lose here. Or no, don't lose? What is happening here? No, you're going to lose. Okay. I think there's like two things here. As soon as I saw counter Lucario, I figured it was I figured it was Thunder Punch Shadow Ball, because that Force Palm is a harder hitting move, but a slightly lower energy generating move. So to have a slightly higher energy generating move with counter, I figured it was Shadow Ball. You still got like full health here, and you got a Pelipper in the front, and it's very obvious that when they safe swapped Lucario, that it's a double fighter. You just need to team read that, right? Lucario, weak to fighting. It's a fighter. You expect a second fighter in the back there, with a Pelipper Flyer to deal with the fighters that are going to come and beat you. So you got to read that it's a second fighter in the back, or second counter user, at least in the back. There's an argument that you should... it's tricky. I can argue both sides of the coin here. If I'm reading double counter user, I want to make sure that I don't have my Sandslash on it. So you shield this, and then try and go. But the problem is then if you do that, the Pelipper maybe get to a Hurricane, and then you come in Sandslash, and then they have a shield advantage, so you're going to lose there. So that's like, it's tough to figure out the right play. In terms of this, I think once you successfully bait, there's no point of trying to catch. The catch is so risky. And that wasn't even, the problem is that wasn't even like a good try at a catch. The problem is that is like, okay, when do I think, if you're going to try and do that catch, I'm not saying don't try and catch it. Trying to catch it there is, I don't think they're going to throw there. And again, I'm going to try and do a catching video. There's no set rules for catching. Let's just start with that. So people can try and catch it and throw at any time. Let's just start with that. However, there are general rules when it comes to throwing a charge move versus when your opponent's going to throw one. So, you're at a spark here. They come in 2, 3, 4, 5. It's tough to tell. They're maybe at 6 or 7. So they're probably at drill run. So you basically have two options to try and catch it. You catch it on 1 and go. So 1 and go, which is what you tried to do. Okay, never mind. You did try and do that. Okay. Or the other end of the spectrum is if they're not going to catch it, if they're not going to throw it then, they're going to throw it just as they're approaching 2 moves or just as you're approaching your charge moves to like force your decision. But actually you did throw it at the 1 and throw, so it's not a bad idea, but yeah, you just got hit there. In conclusion, I don't know if I would have done anything super different. Maybe shield a Shadow Ball, but... Okay, this is probably a neutral lead. Oh, it's okay. It's a Volt Switch. Going for the bait because Drill Run will one-shot and it's a Graveler, so probably will get a shield here. And it's a Volt Switch, so you're probably not going into anything in the back. You do leave yourself vulnerable to grass in the back, but with a electric on the front, you kind of just have to. So going for that double shield of the Rock Blast, they now get into Glycopod. So this is a nice answer to Glycopod. It likely only has Aerial Ace and Liquidation. Maybe it has X-Scissor, but Aerial Ace Liquidation is probably the more preferred moveset in this meta. So they can only throw resisted liquidations, but these claws will add up, right? These claws are neutral, so they will add up. So you CMP there, which is a little unfortunate that they get the other liquidation through. And they have, there is your grass, and that is why you potentially leave yourself vulnerable to grass in the back. What can you do? You're down a shield now, so you're just kind of in trouble. Maybe you could chip this enough. This is neutral, half grass, half water. Get one more off. I gotta imagine they can just probably Razor Leaf you down before you even get to a third move. And they give it up to Graveler. So you gotta hope this thing does not have like a Wild Charge or else you're done. It's just a Stone Edge. So now you could potentially get to a move here. You have to throw the Surf right away, even though it's resisted, double resisted. You have no choice. You just need any chip you can get. And now it's a race. Oh, CMP. That was close. Yeah, I didn't think that they would. I thought that they would just like stay in and Razor Leaf you down because I figured they would outpace you, but I guess it would have been closer than I expected. Okay. Again, this is kind of a good lead, but again, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to like an electric and grass in the back. End up shielding because if they're staying in this long, it's likely it's likely to be a Water Pulse. It's an Aerial Ace. Okay, and then they make a catch on a Kartana, and this is where you want to see it. So they're sacrificing this. What the hell was that? Okay. Jellicent. So neutral lead. Shadow Balls will add up, but these claws are super effective, so those are adding up quick. Out comes an S-Cap to try and snipe. You do get off a drill run. This will hurt, and then you should immediately go into Jellicent. So you grab the shield. That's nice. So now the question is, what are you going to shield? And I was about to say, drill run might not be a bad idea to shield here, just because that will add up. Now you could just comfortably farm, going straight Shadow Ball. Like I said, it probably, if it doesn't take out from this range, it's going to put it like within a couple hex. From this range, they definitely would have taken out, but they end up shielding, which is kind of interesting because you can definitely live this drill run. Now, I wouldn't want to take another one, so let's just get this out of here. A little bit of overfarm. Get this out of here. Steelix with, looks like Thunderfang or something. And you are not going for the super effective Surf. You're going for the neutral Shadow Ball instead, and now you might not get to another move, especially with the game. I'm surprised you didn't try and go super effective Surf there. Yeah, it looks like a Thunderfang, and it looks neutral. So I'm not really worried about any move here. It's going to be Crunch or Psychic Fangs or something. I'm worried about a catch here. Yeah. I figured they would try and catch on the one there. So Spark Lanturn. Getting the drill run off. This will probably grab a shield. I assume they'll go Surf. Again, Lantern's a tough safe swap. Now that there's... I don't want to say this is a bad team, but there's definitely some core breaker flaws that like you're so vulnerable to like a Ferrothorn in the back that you're just not leaving because at best you come into a Lanturn mirror match or a terrible Jellicent matchup here. So you kind of have to stay. But then when you're running a team like this, you just leave yourself super vulnerable in the back to certain Pokemon, which I don't love being in that scenario. But two shields end up taking it. They have a Firefang Mawile, and now it's that's a top left. See, they leave themselves vulnerable too if they did not pull that out. Ludicolo, this is where you want to see it because it's probably a Razor Leafer. And they get out into Escav. So here we go. Escav safe swap, Ludicolo lead. Likely to be Lucario or something similar in the back. Are we finally getting the rain? Yeah, it looks like it. It's been like 35 with humidity for like a week and a half right now. So we're finally getting rain, which will cut this humidity. Surf does not take out. That's why I just like going straight Shadow Ball. You do get the full farm down, so you will have energy for the Ludicolo that comes in. You'll get one Shadow Ball, probably say maybe a second, two, which will be nice, but they may just go two shield. If they have Lucario or something, they probably just try and go two shield Lucario on the back here. And they should have had a Lucario. But instead, they have a Magcargo, which is double weak to water. You live a Rock Tomb. This thing is double weak to water. And you should just be able to outpace it here. So here comes the second shield. I think they can't. Yeah, I don't think they're out of move yet. And if they incinerate, then they're going to be stuck in the incinerate when you spark here. And there you get to the move. Oh, you're one short. Okay, whoa, you got lucky that they didn't try and catch there because you tried to instant throw. And now you're going to try and catch and just get, yeah, okay. Oh, they didn't catch because they have no Pokemon left. Doi. Okay, Magnezone lead. Again, one that you can't really get out of, but leaves yourself vulnerable in the back. Holy freaking game. Man, that leg is so annoying. It is just a mere shot, I mean, which would be neutral because you're half ice. So now you're going to bait back to try and grab that shield, which makes sense. And now you're just like, okay, what do I do? I think you have to try and let it go. Try and live a mere oh, so it's a wild charge. They're going to get out into something here. Poliwrath, you get out into what is the worst matchup. I know you're just probably worried about getting farmed down there. Jellicent is obviously way better because they like to have Dynamic Punch, which is neutral here as opposed to resisted on the Jellicent. So yeah, if you got Jellicent and Lanturn and a Poliwrath comes in, you got to come into the Jellicent just to resist all the moves as opposed to being neutral here with counter and with Dynamic Punch. So they'll just get off probably an Icy Wind to take you out. And now you can come Jellicent just to very easily punish this. Now, how aggressive are you going to be? They're going to Icy Wind you once here. So if you try to Hex down, you're probably going to get hit with another Icy Wind, which is fine. Ooh, they smartly try and get out of here. I'm just worried about what they have in the back. What's their last Pokemon? They should come Poliwrath. But if they come Poliwrath, they're switch locked, and then you can Hex down and take out whatever's in the back. So maybe they should come the other Pokemon. Yeah. I think this is the right play. I think they have to come here to get energy on this. Now Shadow Ball does not quite take out from this range. And you get one off. I'm surprised they didn't try and like catch. I mean, who's counting energy? And now can they counter down before you take them out? Yes. And that's the last game. So yeah, that was kind of a tough one. I think they made the right call. There's no point in coming in Poliwrath to just get switch locked and then you'll come in and Hex and come out with a ton of energy. They had to come with the Jellicent there, so it was smart heads up play by your opponent there. So yeah, that's a team. Again, I like it in principle, but man, there was a couple matchups where it's like, no, you can't get out into this. You can't get out into this. And then it's like, well, then if you do leave yourself vulnerable to grass in the back, are you just taking the loss there? Even some electric are just like Magnezone and Togedemaru and other electric are just going to cause the backline problems too. So it's tough. It's tough. But you're doing well with it, so keep it going if it's working for you. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.